Fude Moriba Conte, who is a journalist, who is here with me as the guest. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, and I also have on the panel a social analyst who usually comes here as a civil society activist, but today he is a social analyst who is no less a person, but Sano, welcome to Front Page.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so and one of the leading stories on the local tabloids here is the speech of the 2023 APC flag bearer, presidential flag bearer, who is Dr. Samura Kamara. And I know maybe we follow up with the press conference yesterday at the party's headquarters. So I would love to start with Sano. So what do you make of his statements or address, so to speak?
For me, he gave a speech, and I think that speech was for his party people and people who trust in him. So that was a speech that he did. But when you look at the speech, you critically analyze what he was saying. The speech I begin to compare when Pakaba wanted to dialogue with Foden Sanko. Mm-hmm. I wonder if Foden Sanko then uses such words, then I will ask myself, will that peace would have hold that dialogue?
Words like what?
Yeah. Firstly, you're going on peace. This country is governed by our 1991 Constitution. Mm-hmm. This country tells us our supremacy comes from that Constitution, our sovereignty comes from that Constitution, and it tells us the process of conducting an elections. And it also instructs us in the process that you are not pleased, what you should do. And if you sit down and you do not do anything, you do not go to the court, which is the highest body for in terms of getting justice, and then you leave it like that, believe you me, and then the man is sworn in as a president, there is no need you say it is not your president. But having said that, let me look at the speech from the angle. Mm-hmm. For me, I think Samura Kamara was not sincere, he was not honest, and I did not see patriotism and love for the country and the people.
Why is that?
And I also see selfishness in what he said. Mm-hmm. The reasons are clear. Number one, when you are a leader, you should be careful of what you do, what you say at all time. Now, we have an issue with the elections that everybody was singing. Some say the election was not free and fair. Others says the election was free and fair, including ourselves. When I was in civil society by then, we monitor these elections. Now, if it is not free and fair, you know the law. He has worked in Sierra Leone for over 40 years. You know the processes. This is the same law and processes that were used during the day of Samilti. Why did you fail to go that path? Instead, because of you alone, you understand, Mm-hmm. I was asking myself, if Samura would have won the election and the MPs lose the election, will he have told them, don't go to parliament? Believe you me, because he did not win the elections, and then so what he did, he said, let them don't go. So my issue here with when people begin to say, this election was not free, was not fair, I have issue with it because I was in the middle of these elections. I participated. I spent sleepless nights. My team and I spent sleepless nights in ensuring we monitor it. So then I said to myself, somebody told me, say, we want the aggregated data. I said, for God's sake, why do people keep sending information, wrong information out. My dear brother, the whole thing about this election that happened, you understand, both political parties said they are going to win, and they went into a contest. After that, they sent representatives. Those two parties were the only people that were present all over the place.
So in your opinion, it was free?
It was free, fair. So now they have the IRF forms. That form alone is sufficient. There was a day I told them, if you really genuinely know that you won the elections, right? It is simple. I will call all media houses. I find a big hall, show from over 11,000 polling stations, my IRF forms, to ascertain who are there, so that the international world will know. But look at it, you know what they are doing. They are doing as they did during the elections. When they gave them the data, and Richard Conte said we have not received it, and later a day. 2 days for the election, he said, we've got it, this is the data. The data was there in his hand. I was part of it, I'm part of the committee. So what is that? The data, the result, aggregated data, everything is in your hand. You have your form. What is the issue? So what they want to do, they want to shift the mind of their supporters and other well-meaning Sierra Leoneans to ECSN. Now, ECSN have the data. They have the raw data. They were given copy from each polling station, for God's sake. Why can't you just call? APC is a big party, but to quote on a public forum and begin to say you won the election was rigged. Come on, it is a disservice, it is insincerity, and it shows that you don't love the country. Look,
okay, so I'm going to come back to you. Let me just, because let me hear from Fode. What do you make up of the Dr. Samura Kamara's address yesterday at the APC headquarters?
Yes, I think it was a long 11-page speech that was delivered by Dr. Samura Kamara yesterday during a press conference held at their party office in Freetown. And when you look at the press release, the press statement, there are a lot of concerns being still put forward by the party. And these concerns, some of them are not new. The party, in their previous engagement or previous press releases, have also been calling on the government, calling on stakeholders to those concerns. And some of those concerns are the data, the disaggregated voter, to be published by polling station. And this call was not only done by the APC party, but this has also been the call by international observers, including the Carter Center, who I believe were the first institution or election observer nation to actually call on the ECSL to publish the voter by polling stations. And also we've also seen other international observers has also followed suit to ensure that they actually call for the ECSL to publish those the votes by polling station. So I think the flag bearer of the APC also made a call, and they also spoke about the integrity of the transparency of the elections, and which we all know is not new. Even as we speak, we know that the U.S. State Department has also questioned the credibility of the elections, and the Carter Center questioned the credibility of the elections. The EU Election Observer Mission, they also follow suit, in questioning the credibility of the June 24, 2023 elections. So I think what we are saying moving forward is how can government able to look at some of the concerns raised by the APC. And most of the cases I say, yes, we are not saying that all what the APC are calling for should be done by government. But what we are saying, if there is a legitimate call by the APC, if those calls that the APC are saying, the things they are demanding, if some of them are legitimate, then government should not turn the deaf ears to them, but rather government should actually look at those concerns and see how can we address those concerns going forward. And this particular address yesterday came as a result of the dialogue we are all anticipating between the government of Sierra Leone and that of the APC party. And this dialogue has long overdue, because there has been a lot of effort, a lot of call for this particular dialogue. We've seen where the Inter-Religious Council, they've engaged the APC party, they've engaged government on how they can ensure that this particular dialogue holds. We've seen where international bodies like the EU, like the ECOWAS, all of them, they are here. They've held preliminary engagement with government and also the APC. in ensuring that we have this particular dialogue. And so this particular call yesterday was in a wake-up call of the dialogue, that yes, even though as we anticipate as we go into the dialogue, but as a party we still have these concerns. We still those things, we still have them in our mind, that government should ensure how government can look onto this particular thing. And Salomon like to make mention of about the APC party not going to court after the end of the elections. This morning I was listening to the National Publicity Secretary of the APC party, Honorable Chinis, and in his interview this morning on United Democracy 19.1, he said that the presenter asked the question to him that why APC didn't go to court after they lose the election. As per our constitution, you have 7 days. If you are not satisfied with the results, you have 7 days to actually go to court and seek redress. But according to the party, they said the ECSL published the result announced on their website, and just few days after that particular pronouncement, the particular data was no longer available in their website. So how can you go to court? You don't have something that you are going to put before the court to say this is what is this is the result that has been called by the ECSL, and we are not satisfied with this particular result. So according to the party, they said they have nothing to show to the court to say this is why we are coming to court. But for them, they said they have their evidence. They have all the RFA forms that we have collected across the country. They are claiming that they have it. But they said they did not go to court because the particular result that was pronounced by the ECSL is no longer available at the website of the ECSL, which they can hold as an evidence to actually take the matter to court. So here comes the question again. We know that we have the law here, which we call a right to access information, okay? And it beholds the ECSL to actually make those vital information available to the public. So I see no reason for it to be published on their website, and just few days, the particular data was actually deleted from their website. Okay. So it also behoves them for them to ensure that they actually look at their mandate and say, if we have a mandate to ensure that we make information available to the public, then there was no reason for that. But if the ECSL believes that the particular data is available in their website, then let them come and challenge to say, yes, we have this particular information in our website, you can go, and the particular results that was pronounced by the Chief Electoral Commissioner, they are available in the website.
Okay. So I'm coming back to you. With the dialogue that is about to hold, and yesterday's address by Dr. Samura Kamara, I think that the dialogue was something that was discussed between him and President Julius Maada Bio. And he is still, as a party, and they are still holding on to the view that President Julius Maada Bio's administration is illegitimate, and they will continue to hold on to that stance. So where do you see the progress of the dialogue with all what the flag bearer, the 2023 flag bearer of the All People's Congress Party said yesterday?
The call has been for us to have a sincere dialogue. And we can have a dialogue, but if the dialogue is not sincere, if the dialogue is not trustworthy, we will still have those issues, it's not even a dividend. So what we are saying, in as much as all of us are anticipating the dialogue, and I'll tell you, you and I sitting here, we will not pray for our country not to be united. We will not pray for what is happening currently, the political impasse to continue in our country. What we are praying for is for us to have a unified Sierra Leone, a Sierra Leone that all of us can come together to work towards the development of the nation, because government on its own cannot do it alone. But government needs other sectors, government needs even the opposition for them to ensure that they push their agenda forward. So that is to say that the dialogue that government is anticipating, there has been a call that let the dialogue be fair. And for what Dr. Samura Kamara is saying about the party still maintaining its stance, I'll tell you, if there is a sincere dialogue, I'll tell you, they will forgo those stance that they are saying, that even calling their members of parliament to participate. Because even when His Excellency the President met with the Commonwealth, one of the things he said, he made an open call to the APC that I'm inviting them for us to come and work. Let them allow their members of parliament, their mayors, their councillors, let them come and participate in governance. And that is very key. That is very important. It means that the President did not overemphasize the importance of the opposition in moving the country forward. So that is to say that in as much as we anticipate this particular dialogue, I believe if there's a sincere dialogue, okay, if the government tries to ensure and looks at the concerns of the APC, look at the concerns of the opposition, and find a way on how to solve those concerns. I know that some of the concerns might be difficult, but if some of their demands are not met, there's also a way that we can dialogue to say, yes, this is for the betterment of our country. These demands, we cannot meet these demands as the government. Well, let us go back to the drawing board and see how can we be able to ensure that we have an agreement on how we can be able to address those concerns.
All right.
And I think that is something that is very much important. But I think the dialogue is very important. And I'm even urging the APC to ensure that let them go for the dialogue. Let them ensure that at the end we want to have the outcome of the dialogue where the members of parliament, their councillors, their mayors can participate in governance.
Okay. And Joseph Sano, you were saying because you participated in the electioneering process, and in your view, it was free, fair, and credible. And Fude was just saying that a lot of concerns have been raised by the All People's Congress Party, and according to him, some genuine concerns that are in line with what the international community has already raised. And they still stand on what the claims that they raised since the results were announced. So what's your take on that?
Let me be frank. There was a regime change campaign. I am well informed about that. You know, I was fired from NATCOM, and there was something. So the regime change campaign approached me. It was just that some of us do not bow down to little things. I've seen money. Because not only now, even before, I've seen money. So I saw what money and what, but I asked myself, is this real? So when you talk in all these things, I know about it. Number one, the Carter said, if I would have wanted, if I was not a greedy person, if I hate this country, I would have accepted the regime change. Of course, you know I can advocate. Of course, you know I'll go anywhere. So I would have joined Marcella, EU, Carter Center to have a regime change agenda. Now, let me say this to you.
So before you continue, so you are saying the concerns of people like Marcella.
It was a regime change
and
agenda.
EU,
Yeah.
the US, and all other international communities. So their concerns weren't genuine. Is that what you're saying?
Their concerns we are not genuine concerns. I can tell you this because, fortunately for me, when I was fired, everybody think, Sano, this is an opportunity for us to get Sano on our side.
Okay.
But I am that type that do not look at the thing that happened to me. I look at the nation. Other than that, I should have been among people. Wait, I'm coming, please. I should have been
Just
among
give
people
time.
to really re-echo it. Let me first, Carter Center did not have up to 15 people to monitor the entire election in Sierra Leone. I have been up University FBC for the past 3 years. I was not at Hill Sierra Leone. Somebody else was helping me with Hill Sierra Leone. Let me tell you what happened. Carter Center they sought for me in this city, and they went to me up FBC. I was at Davis Nicol. We had a meeting at Davis Nicol Hall, and I still have, and there are witnesses of that meeting, and I know what we discussed. You understand? So when I'm not talking about what people tell me, I'm talking about what I know. The second thing, you understand? People should understand is that we have, like for instance, what Marcella did, you understand it, could have run this country into chaos because you are not the electoral commissioner. When they gave us observer status, you just go and observe and write your report and send it to ECSM. Now,
but that's something they've been doing in previous
What
elections.
they did was that they prehend and caught. In fact, there was roadblocks. But let me come to something simple. Okay, let's cut this thing short. When I listen to my brother, so for Carter Center, they are not even credible. We saw when Samura said he went and sought money for them, and there was money for runoff. So I will not talk about that. Let's come now to ECSL and the issue of the data was not on the website. That is a sharp excuse by a big political party like APC. It's really, it will not hold in any court of law. Let me tell you this. Okay, they place it on the website and they remove it. Fine. But I have my evidence. And the only place to go for redress in this country, we will not go to ECOWAS, we will not go to American court. It is our own court.
But the APC is claiming that they don't trust the court system.
Okay.
That's why they did.
They don't trust the court system. This is the same court system that removed the former vice president from office. This is the same court system that have been used before. Let me tell you, as bad as you may see our court system, other countries are coming to have best practice from Sierra Leone. Let me tell you, my child is my child. I will not abandon my child for anything. If there's problem, I will develop my child. That excuse Yaya Tunis was giving, it is just null and void. Our constitution is the ground, it is the supreme law. In fact, what I see from Samura and those that are talking, I see they just want to cause trouble. Mere troublemakers, mere blackmailers. They want to blackmail the entire electoral process and discredit our institutions, and then they are against law and order. If they were for law and order, they should have respected the court. This same court, Papa Sheki used it. This same police, Papa Sheki uses it. This same lawyers, they use it. Right? And now the same people you are condemning. So what is good for the good is not good for the bad. This is unnecessary. Okay, apart from law and order, I want to say this. They are even against development and peaceful coexistence.
Okay, so and you said the concerns of Masala, EU, Carter Center is just like regime change something. So why didn't you start fighting then when they approached you?
Let me tell you, I've been fighting for long. I've been always fighting. Let me tell you, when they
So did you make it public?
You can go. Let me tell you, when I want to fight, I fight full. Right? I don't fight in the corner. I have started this thing. I have a catalog of what I've done.
Okay.
Right? So when I'm talking, I'm not talking because I want to talk.
Specifically on the approach by the Carter Center.
Yeah, but if they are watching, they will know that they know me, we start together, and I can bite you. They have not produced their report to ECSL, nor did I can bite you. They don't have up to 15 staff, they said. Let me tell you, can 15 staff give results for over 11,000 polling stations?
No, that's left for the public.
No, I'm asking. Let me tell you what's happened. For instance, let's be frank, if we really want peace, let me conclude in this. In 2007, over 400 polling stations were cancelled in Kailam. The former vice president, right, was there. And then Anas Baikoma, because of that cancellation, Anas Baikoma won. But because the man wants peace, because they want development and national cohesion, he swallowed his pride and then accepted. Right? That is it. Some went to court. In fact, it was APC that was also controlling the court. But they still went to court in respect for law and order. In 2012, let me tell you some secret. And in fact, in 2007, Christian Atop never had the mandate, and he gave a sarcastic statement: "You go to court, go to police." In 2012, I was around my team. We were all at the polling stations. We were counting. When Christian Atop called the election that Anas Baikoma has won the election. As you may know, the former government was in charge of the judiciary, anti-corruption, every area. But yet still President Bio now did not say, the SLPP did not say, I will not go to court. Did not support people to be rioting, to be causing chaos and mayhem, to be insulting people, in what to the extent that, in fact, in his own hometown, he was wounded there. Right? That was a recipe for war or chaos. But still, he went humbly. So what I'm trying to say, let people look at the precedent. Samura Kamal have said what he want to see. But for me, they failed to go to court, and JSK raised that issue, and they did not listen to it. Instead, apart from that, they should by now, they should say, okay, for the sake of peace, Let's be another Shulubi. Let's announce things. But let me tell you, in terms of the honorable that they are crying for, oh my God, some of us, this government will not like us. We will not bend our laws.
Okay, so let me hold it there and come back to Fode. You've heard all the claims that Sano has made here and some of the precedents that have been set over the years. So what's your take on that?
You know, when we keep saying we rely on precedents, saying because this thing was done 5 years ago, it should be done again today, then it means we are not ready for progress. We can only progress when we start doing the things that we want to do now to change what has happened in the past. We cannot continue to have a country wherein, because once a government is in power, the government will start citing about instances that have occurred before. Let us have a president or a government that will come and say, regardless of what has happened, I am going to make a change. When this government, when they were campaigning in 2018, they said, a new direction. A new direction should not go back to the past. A new direction should be a direction that will actually forget what has happened in the past and start to lay new things. So, Sano is actually taking us to the past again to say this has happened, it should happen again. Does it mean, for example, I met my father as a drunkard, I should be a drunkard? No.
Okay, so
there should be a change to say, not because my father was doing this, maybe he was doing this out of ignorance, or maybe he was doing it because of one or two. But I am a child, I will not come and follow the same footsteps of my father, but rather I'll come and make a change.
Okay,
that is what we are expecting.
Do you agree with the stance by APC that because they don't trust the court system and that the whole election process, it is like you agree that they didn't go to court, take the matter to court?
For that regards, most times what I continue to say, that when institutions that are supposed to be independent are not independent, this is the result of what we are saying. Most times we keep telling our stakeholders that leave those institutions that these institutions should be independent, let them be independent. But you see that most of the institutions now are actually doing what to call just regime. They are supporting the governments of the day. And that is not how it's supposed to be. So because of those things are happening currently, because we have our institutions that are supposed to be independent, like the judiciary, like the Sierra Police, like the ECSL, those institutions supposed to be independent because they are not serving the government, but they are serving the people of this country. So because their independence has been questioned over the years because of their activities, that is why we keep having issues like this.
But this is this is the same institution. I think, if I can remember, like 3 APC guns have won cases. One is a tourism case. And with this still institution, the same institution, and you are claiming that they are not independent.
I am not saying that they are not independent completely. What I'm saying that they should be independent. And because of their non-independence, that is why the opposition is questioning them to say, we don't have confidence in them.
So you agree with their stance?
And even, this is not even the stance, even the public. We also hear before the elections, the election, as per one of the recommendation was that there was at least trust in certain institutions in this particular country. And the judiciary was the APC, the judiciary was among them, the Sierra Police was also among them, and the NEC by then, which now ACSL, was also among the institutions that was named. And this was not from a political party, but this was from an independent institution. That is to tell you that when those institutions are supposed to be independent and independent, people keep losing trust on them. And once they lose trust on them, if I don't have trust and confidence in this particular thing, I will not go there.
So okay? When you say the public, because the public is a general term, do you mean the APC supporters as the public or the Sierra Leone populace in general?
The EU election mission did not concentrate on the APC, but rather was the general public. It was a general public, and according to their report, they said that the public has lost trust in certain institutions in this country.
Okay, because the reason why
ECSL was among NEC by then, now ECSL, the Sierra Leone judiciary. But let me just land on this issue.
Okay.
And for me, when I highlight challenges, I like bringing recommendations or solutions to those problems. And we can never be able to address the issues of the independence of those institutions when the appointment of those leaders in those institutions
are tied to the president. Okay? If I have the power now to call for anything, what I will call for is for the president, is for the Parliament of Sierra Leone to amend certain clauses in the Constitution. And one of each is to remove the appointment of certain institutions in this country from the presidency to an independent body or parliament. And that is to say, the Sierra Leone police, the IG. For me, I want the Parliament of Sierra Leone or the government of Sierra Leone for it to be removed that president no longer appoint the IG, the Chief Justice of this particular country, the Commissioner, Electoral Commissioner for ECSL, those of those key institutions that are very important towards the peace and stability of the country. Let the appointment of those boards be removed from the presidency to actually have an independent body, or maybe we can say Parliament will begin to appoint those institutions. Okay. Because if those appointments of those key institutions, the appointment comes from the president, there is high tendency for them to be independent in carrying out their ability. Because this is what we've been seeing. Even within the past government, we've been seeing all of those things. That once those people are appointed by the government, they actually want to dance by the tune of the government. So if we have an amendment of that clause in the Constitution, wherein the appointment of these individuals will be removed from the presidency, I think we'll begin to speak or begin to discuss about how those institutions can be dependent. Okay. So, and before I rest, Samura made several allegations about there was a cartel of a regime change. And I believe he is a seasoned, he's a Sierra Leonean, okay? And we should not be allowing those things to be swept under the carpet, okay? I'm calling on Samura, if he has evidences of what he is saying, let him come up with those evidences to say there was a regime change, there was a cartel, they met him for a regime change. You know, let's start to name and shame people, but if he is hiding those sensitive information he's having, people we are all around for a change, I think this is something that will not yield us any good dividend. We need to start naming and shaming them. And if also he observed the election, let him also come out a report. But I brought it out and we'll finish. I have not seen any report. I will send it to you. I'm not there again. Or whatever observer mission you observe, I haven't seen a report. I will send it to you from here. This is what we got from the election. I'm going to send it. What we got. So and he also made mention naming several organizations. I'll tell you, when we continue to target institutions in this country, it's just you are adding insult to injury. This is not a time for us to start naming people. This is not a time for us to start casting blame on people. But this is a time for us to sit and dialogue. Why are you not stable? Just now you said I should name. What you are saying is the way you are naming, the way you are naming institutions. Okay. Like when the Cancer Center has the other had 15, and the Cancer Center was actually because I know they met him for a regime change. You know, all of those things you are just you are adding insult to injury. Okay. Let me get my back. Yes. Firstly, I want to inform the public that here is the website of ECSL. I want to tell you that I am not only have a degree, but I have a first-class degree in information technology with distinction, right? In my dissertation work. So I know IT. I've worked in the telecom industry. It is not 1 day, 2 day. I have IT background. Now, if you delete something from the website, I'll be able to query it and know if you delete it. I want to say what CDR said was lie. There was never a time when that was deleted. Here is the website. Let's show it so that the public will see. In fact, right now, they have the district totals in the website. Number 2. Right? The law mandated only for you people, the APC, to have the IRF form, and they gave them. My brother, people are just. So you are claiming that nothing was deleted? Nothing was deleted. What is the problem? Let me tell you, the problem here is. Which website are you actually using? ECSL. Let me tell you. Which website? Wait, let me see. I also open the website here. Wait, look at the report. Look at it. Let me say. Okay, no, you did not. I can give you my phone. You look from my phone. No. Okay, let me tell you something. Okay, so allow me. What I've noticed is that people are not honest in Sierra Leone. I lost my bet, but I'm going to say people are not honest in Sierra Leone. The law said they should provide the RRF form. They have provided it. They have also placed all the data on the internet. You understand? Go and check for yourself. Okay, if you are now saying
the police, the ECSL. Let me tell you something. The American election that you've seen, Hillary Clinton up to now has not agreed that that election was free and fair. It was rigged. No. Let me tell you, and you said you should not go to best practice. You will not stop the past. Let me tell you, if you don't have history, you will not have a future. And in law, best practice, the judges make decisions, make on precedents. So precedent is very germane to every processes in life. I have failed several times and I will continue to fail, and those precedents that I've set, whether good or bad, is making me to be Joseph Sano. So forget about that precedent. The real thing is what I think the APC should do. Right? Number one, they should realize that this country is bigger than APC and SLPP. Number two, they should realize that they should realize that these institutions are our own institution. If the American government respected their own courts and they said the election was rigged, but they still Obama still moved from there and allowed Donald Trump, and then Joe Biden, right? Trump said he rigged the election, but still Joe Biden, Trump allowed them to lead. If we are practicing from them, if we are looking at them, we should copy same. There should be nobody, no party that should be bigger than our peace.
But the difference with that, like when they made their claims, all the areas where the claims were made, they recount everything. So why, if you are saying we have to do the same, so why that has not been done
recount
here?
it. So what happened was that after this whole thing, different bodies have engaged the opposition. And in fact, some of us even asked them, come with your RRF forms. You understand? Let's look at them. You understand? Bring it. Believe you me, if APC can show this RRF form, and if we notice, Joseph Sano, if I notice that the election was won by APC, believe you me, I prefer to go to jail. I will rise and defend their result. But you have failed to do that. What is happening is that what people want to, let me tell you, before the elections, these people were on a mission. In fact, they did not copy, they did not campaign. What they were doing was just creating tension, undermining process, inciting violence, creating tribal device, and this was not good.
Okay.
So they forget about their mere cause.
So let me just
they want to continue in this regime.
All right, let me just because the time is, I'm coming before you come. Let me just take like 2 messages from the Facebook page, and I'll give you time to wrap up because time is not on our side. I know this is an interesting conversation. And from Didan Sankor, he's saying, how can a whole political party say the elections were rigged and that they have RR forms to prove that, and yet they cannot go to court or even send out a detailed report with figures in the RR forms to show the world that they won the election. The APC is so dishonest and disingenuous, and their gullible supporters are being taken advantage of by APC. This kind of act by APC is a great device to themselves and to the nation as a whole. And Victor Fode is saying, can Mr. Sano tell the nation how many institutions that were part of the regime change, and what did he say to them about such plans? So first, Fode, and you give your part in short after whatever you wanted to respond to him, and with regards to the messages.
Yes.
You have 2 minutes.
Yes, I have 2 minutes. And I think the APC party have their leadership, so they will definitely comment on why they are having their data. I am not here to represent them, or either I'm here to speak on their behalf.
No, this is just a message. It's not to you.
Yes. You know, this issue in Sierra Leone, for me, just like what I said earlier, that we are hoping that this particular dialogue will actually come to pass, and we'll have a unified Sierra Leone. We'll have a Sierra Leone that is united, wherein members of the opposition can also participate in governance. Because this particular point, political impasse in the country has negative implications in the country that most people don't know. Most people don't know that some of these things that are happening currently are because of what is happening, you know. And we also, where the Sierra Leone is about, I would say, although like they are slowing it down, the
30
FCC,
seconds.
you know, we are talking about $1 million project here. And if we have the APC and SFPP coming together, and let's say for instance now the US government say, okay, we'll actually give you the MCC for you to implement, a lot of other sectors will improve. Electricity will be improved, or other sectors again will actually be, this fund will be used to improve those sectors.
All right,
so
thank you so much.
The power of unity and everything. So in rounding up, I am calling on the APC and the government of Sierra Leone to ensure that they have a meaningful dialogue.
Okay.
A dialogue wherein we're able to address this current political impasse.
All right.
The APC, swallow your bitterness and ensure that you take a decision that reflects the people of this particular
Thank you so much. So now you have 2 minutes.
Okay. First, I have evidence and witnesses when I talk.
Okay.
And I want to inform the public that I have held, in fact, during the time the election was going on, I talked to Peace Commission. I used their platform to ensure I had a press conference on happening of the elections. So what I want to say is that, number one, if this government, I want dialogue, but the reason for the dialogue is what I want to understand, to have peace. But I want to tell you, if this government, I will bite anybody again. I will bite it my life. No matter the amount of dialogue that Samura Kamara and the APC will go into with President Bio, believe you me, after that dialogue, when they come, they will only go to parliament, but they will still there be undermining, be inciting.
That's a claim.
No, I know, because you know how many times they have met.
You have 1 minute.
The other thing is, I want people to know that no wonder people don't want us to go to school, our children to be educated. They want to be playing with the mind of our people, our young. I want to clearly state that this election was free, fair, and credible, right? And I want to say Samura Kamara in general, I'm going to be, and his team are just about to continue to make trouble, because he promised that if I don't become president, I will make trouble and continue with blackmailing lies and are against law and order, because they don't respect our institution and against development and peaceful coexistence.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. So those are all claims, but thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, gentlemen.